Eddie Olczyk, who called the action last night on NBC. He's a part-time hockey analyst, full-time horse racing analyst, and Eddie O joins us now. Hi, Ed.
You're right about that, Dan. How are you?
All right, okay, let me start with the Belmont. Are we going to have a Triple Crown?
I hope so, but I don't think so. I thought in the second leg of the Triple Crown in Baltimore at the Preakness, I did not see that same quick acceleration from California Chrome down the lane, a 16th of a mile from the finish line, as we've seen in his prior races. Now, look, it's awful lot to ask of these 3-year-old horses to go run, twice in 2 weeks and then have the 3 weeks off and then go a mile and a half as they're going to go on Saturday in Belmont. So for me, I would love to see it because, my passion for the game, but I just did not see that same quickness and acceleration down the lane to pull away like he's done in the past. And he got some fresh horses, and this is a challenging distance of going a mile and a half. So I'm going to look to Wicked Strong, the New York-based horse, to find a way to sit the trip and make a little bit of an earlier run and pick him up and lay him down the lane.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Now to your part-time job as a hockey analyst. Last night, I got the feeling that the Kings got away with something, and the Rangers are going to look back on this saying we had this was ours. What happened in this game that turned it?
Well, the door certainly was open. I would agree with you 100%, Dan, on what was taking place for a good stretch of that game. The Kings did not manage the puck very well. They gave the Rangers some gifts early in the game. The Rangers weren't able to capitalize. 2-goal leads now in the National Hockey League with the rule changes and the way that they call penalties. It's not like it was 10 years ago. And you hang around long enough, you're going to give a team that is deep, a team that is experienced like the LA Kings to get their game going. And we saw that towards the end of the second period, and then for sure in the third period where it was a game of keep away, and the Rangers couldn't get the puck away from the LA Kings. The one thing that the Rangers did do, I thought was very impressive, Dan, in that game is that they played a real low type of offensive game, meaning is that they were playing below the top of the circle. They were using their speed and challenging the defense of the LA Kings in the cycle game, and that's not really their strength. And they did at times really have the Kings on the run with their speed and throwing pucks to the net. But when you're not accustomed to playing like that, because the Rangers aren't, they didn't score off of any of those. They had territorial time, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but they didn't be able to put anything into the back of the net. And I think at a period of time, sometimes that catches up with you, because if you're used to working out and say you ride the bike every day for 5 miles, and all of a sudden somebody says, well, let's go out and run for a while. Well, I ride the bike for 5 miles and I can run for 5 miles. It's not the same. You're using different muscles. It's a different surface. It's everything. So eventually it takes its toll on you. That's not the strength of the Rangers. But for me, they did a lot of good things, and it was a missed opportunity to take out L.A. But once they got past, I thought the latter half of the second period and all through the third, it wasn't even close. The Kings were in control.
Best player on the ice, let's remove the goaltenders.
I would say maybe Carl Hagelin of the New York Rangers. He was sensational in the penalty kill situation. He was outstanding in the offensive looks. A guy that's real quick, a guy who can generate a lot, whether he has the puck or not. He can put you in the corners. He can put you in the spaces that maybe takes away options that you have as a puck carrier. To me, I thought he was really effective in a lot of different areas, whether he had the puck or not.
You got Doughty and Carter are just – Carter is – he's there at the right time.
Yeah.
There's something innate about his ability to be at the right place at the right time. Can you explain it?
Well, I think it's that anticipation of knowing what's going to happen, Dan, before it does, and he puts himself in that spot. But he's such a deceptive skater. Like, he pulls away from people like you wouldn't believe. Like, think about the last 45 seconds of regulation. Hagelin gets the breakaway chance, and then Kopitar gets the puck in the middle of the ice. He gets the puck to Carter. It looks like Carter's not going to get anything out of it because Mark Stahl's right there, and Carter gets causes separation with a quick little burst, circles the wagons on Lundqvist. Lundqvist out of the net, and here comes Carl Hagelin. He's the guy that came back on the back check and slid feet first to keep that puck from going in off of him and into the net, and it went off of Lundqvist. But Carter just has that ability to be able to anticipate what's going to happen, the great speed, and he's got a terrific release on his shot, and a guy that's real durable and flexible when it comes to being able to play any one of the 3 forward positions.
The Stanley Cup Final continues Saturday night on NBC. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, immediately following NBC's coverage of the Belmont Stakes and the Triple Crown there at stake. We're talking to Eddie Olczyk, who called the action last night for NBC. When you see goaltenders facing 20 shots, so you had Lundqvist facing 20 shots in third period alone. What is that like as the goaltender to face that amount of shots when you know the Quick face 3 shots and you're just, it seems like every time you look up, there's rubber coming right at you?
Hey, can I get some help? You know what? Lundqvist is the type of guy that he probably enjoys it, really, Dan. Like that's just kind of the way he is. He's not.
But are you better though, Eddie? You touch on something. Pitchers get stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah. I think Lundqvist might be one of those guys, Dan. I do. And look, he's been the franchise for the New York Rangers the last 7 or 8 years. I mean, this guy has not played in front of all that great of offensive teams, meaning a lot of it was retreating, a lot of it was defense first, and we'll worry about the offensive part second. Now, the philosophy changed under the new coaches now. Lane Vigneault has come in, and they're playing a much more aggressive style, so they're not spending as much time in their own zone as they were in the past because they're allowed to play a little bit more offensive under the head coach now of the Rangers. But the one thing I will say from last night, and I mentioned it a couple of times in the broadcast, especially in the third period, I mean, there were some rebounds there, and that's usually not Henrik Lundqvist's MO. I mean, he's usually very good with rebound control, meaning instead of it just hitting him and plopping out in front of him, he's able to direct it into certain areas and not give up maybe a second or third chance opportunity. The Rangers didn't give up many second or third chance opportunities, but there were some rebounds there, and I think maybe fatigue has something to do that as well, is when you get pucks fired at you. I think unofficially, the 20 shots on goal in the third official, but I think we had, in the third period alone, I think we had 42 shots directed towards Henrik Lundqvist in that third period. So you know the domination that happened in the third with the Kings because they had the puck all third period long.
Eddie, good luck on Saturday with the Belmont and, of course, with Game 2 of this series.
Dan, always great being with you. Thanks for having me.
Hi, buddy. Eddie Olczyk, who was on the 1994 Ranger team. I think he played close to 40 games for that team when they won the Stanley Cup.